Alright guys, so today we're going to be breaking down an anthemic hip hop track that I've been working on for one of the libraries that I'm in. And we're going to be talking about structure, why it's important, so that I can help you get your music ready and sign to a music library. And I think this video is really going to help you connect everything in your brain to make sense of the structure and why you do it that way. Okay, so keep in mind, if you are a member of my email list, you do understand already that there is more than one way to structure a track. So let's put our composer hats on, but let's also put our music supervisor and music editor hats on her. So let's break that down. If I am the editor of the TV show, this is a good exercise for you to do in your DAW. I can now cycle this range however I want. So you repeating this section more than once is completely redundant. And then what we've done here at the end with the fill and everything is they can essentially start it from here if they wanted to. So here's a section here where I don't have the open hi-hat. Right, so they can loop that if they want. Same thing with this section. So I think you're getting the point so far. We have this intro, which is this section that they can loop. And then if they want to use more than this 12 seconds of the track, they can just bring in this part where it leads into the fill to take it into another section. So let me see if I can time this right. Say they didn't like the build that happens here, so they'd rather just have this intro and then go right into the biggest section of the track. See if I can time this right. That's a stinger. We'll get to that in a second. So basically I have this intro, and this is what I would call the main part, right? The hook. And so we have the section here that doesn't have the horns, and then the second section that does have the horns. Now we have a breakdown. So we basically had our intro, and then we had our first main hook section that builds, as you can see, the first part. Then we introduce the open hi-hats, we do a fill, and then we introduce the brass, and then we break it down here. So here in the breakdown, you'll notice that I did repeat this part. So basically this would give them the option, instead of, if they wanted to repeat this part more than once, they don't have to have that swell at the end, right? They can just loop this part right here. And then after that, still part of the breakdown, but now we introduce some stomps, claps, and a different brass element. This is a great section to loop. So that's our total breakdown, and now we're going to go into a build section. Once again, more edit options here. Notice this is still bigger than the first hook, but then we take it up another notch for the end. And then we end with the stinger, of course. But like I said before, maybe they want to use this part. And then if you're working with a library that requests stems that have the groups, you could very likely be pairing all the effects stuff, so all the sweeps and crashes, into its own group so that the editor can use it as they please, right? So you'll notice that if you loop certain sections, then it kind of has the sweep happening too often. So that's another option for them too. I'm actually curious to see when I do submit these what the library is going to request from me. So far we've just been working with the straight track, no alt mixes, no stems. So I hope you guys gained a lot from watching that and a little bit more understanding of why you need to structure it using edit points, and why you need to have it develop and then like no repetition, because that's going to be the most important thing to your success, not only into getting into libraries, but getting placements once you're in the libraries. Because you have to think about it this way. You're making a 90-second to 120-second track, and a lot of the times only 10-15 seconds is going to be used. So the more variety and edit points you have in your track, the more likely that it's going to get used, because somebody might not like the entire first half. Okay, let me rephrase that. Somebody might not have any use for the entire first half of the track, but the second half of the track has what they're looking for. You're going to get a placement. So you really need to think about it that way. You need to think about it as a functional piece of music. But if you do have any more questions, make sure to drop them in the comments. I'm going to be breaking down tracks in different genres just to help anybody that maybe you're not working in hip hop. We're probably going to do a synthwave one next, because I truly do want to help as many people as possible understand the importance of the structure before you go out and try and submit to music libraries and not hear anything back. And as far as getting into libraries goes, if you're not on my email list already, make sure to click the link in the description and get on there, because I'm sending out some really good information on that. But also, maybe Taxi Music might be the best route for you. It was for me to get my first library deal. So if you haven't watched this video yet of me explaining how Taxi works, make sure to check that out. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.